to Pair Area Chambers Biz to Biz Adapting to Change webinar event. This multi-part series gives businesses and services from within our community the opportunity to talk about what they're doing to assure the safety of their employees, customers, clients, well, all of us within the community. I'm Joan Pace of alwaysaboomer.com, presenting sponsor of Biz to Biz Adapting to Change. I write clear, concise, responsive copy for your marketing, website, blog, and fundraising needs. Thus far, the conversations have reaffirmed the priority of local businesses and services to address safety and other evolving issues today and work together in support of the broader business community. Our conversations are industry specific. We've talked with business people that represent services for older adults and people who live with disabilities, which is sponsored by Martha's Hands, office settings, sponsored by Fairway Mortgage, travel and tourism, sponsored by Audi of Kirkwood, the food industry, sponsored by ServPro of West Kirkwood, Sunset Hills, and other areas within our community, health services by the Autism Clinic of Hope, and today, at-home service providers, sponsored by Katie McKenzie of Gym Guys, #1 in-home personal training. Actually, if you'd like more information about any of our sponsors, any of our sponsoring panelists that you will be introduced to today, please visit us at kirkwoodtopair.com. As our webinars are interactive, we'll do our best to pass on your question, which you may submit via the chat option following our initial discussion. A link to today's conversation and each within this webinar series can be found on the Chamber's website, kirkwoodtopair.com. I introduce to you Katie McKenzie of Gym Guys, #1 in-home personal training. And Katie will talk about Gym Guys. She'll introduce our sponsoring panelists today, and she'll moderate today's conversation. Katie?
Perfect. Thanks, Joan. I'm excited to be here with all of you. As Joan introduced, I am Katie McKenzie, the owner of Gym Guys In-Home Personal Training. So we provide in-home fitness services, bringing kind of that trainer, the equipment, and that customized workout right to our clients in the setting of their choice. So now more than ever, we are an option for those who either don't have the time or unsure about getting back to that gym environment. And as the shocking new research study shares, taking care of our health, boosting our immunity through exercise and taking care of our bodies through COVID is more prevalent now than ever before. So we're just kind of a safe, lower touch option for those individuals looking for it. So I will be sharing a little bit more kind of about what we do through today's call and through the conversations that we're having with the rest of the panelists. But I wanted to segue into kind of jumping in and introducing the rest of our panelists. So first up, we have Rick Hinkson from Eureka Contracting and Roofing. Thanks for being here with us, Rick. We also have Jeff Holper of Holper's Pest and Animal Solutions. And I think a little tag along dog who may be jumping in with Jeff here a little bit. We have Matt Kinsella with Maid Brigade of St. Louis. And we have Lynn Lewis with NOBH Licensed Medical and Medicare Insurance. So we're going to kind of go a little bit round robin and talk through some of these talking points of kind of what's going on with our home service industries and how we've all kind of adapted to change, how business is going for us, where we've gotten resources to best kind of continue to serve our clients, and what's going to happen with our businesses moving forward. So panelists, I'm going to kind of jump in again a little bit round robin and start asking some questions. So Jeff, let's start with you. How have your business practices changed since COVID, and what safety measures have kind of become part of your new standard?
Well, at the very beginning, everybody was afraid of everything. And so at the very beginning, we started where we only did outside services and didn't go in the homes. But we found that our customers wanted us inside. And so we already wear booties when we go into a house. Now we're wearing masks and gloves. And we ask customers that if anybody's sick to cancel their appointment until somebody's not sick, you know, and we've done pretty well. None of our technicians have gotten sick, and so we've made it through it well. And actually, because people are home, we're actually seeing an uptick in business. And so COVID-19 has been a blessing for us. And you add the payroll protection program, and you add the SBA loan. Our building loan was part of the SBA loan, so that got suspended for 6 months. And so it's made me able to do things that I haven't been able to do. And it's been a blessing, but it is a pain dealing with masks and stuff every day. There's no doubt about it. And when we have meetings more than 3 people, we wear masks in the building. But for the most part, you know, life is normal. We've actually added 3 trucks this summer, and so we've gotten, you know, we've seen an increase in business and doing well in the midst of it.
Well, that's good to hear that
So,
things are going well despite those changes, Jeff. Rick, what are you seeing in the contracting and roofing side of things? We have you, Rick? He's still on mute and can't see us. We'll jump back to you, Rick. Matt, what's going on with Maid Brigade? How have your practices changed, and kind of what safety procedures have become that new standard for you all?
Well, you know, in the time since the stay-at-home order back in March, you know, it's been quite a journey. We've obviously done all the PPE with masks, gloves, washing of hands. All of those things have been part of what we've been doing. But really, the nice thing is a lot of our customers have stuck with us. We're not quite as fortunate as Jeff, where we've had an uptick in business. We've made our way back to about 75%. It's really been employee driven. We've been missing all of our employees. That's probably been the biggest thing in my industry. I'm not the only one, but that's always a huge part. Before COVID, when unemployment is at 3%, we were really it was hard to find good people. So when this all came through, we did lose some people. They moved on, not because they had COVID, but they moved on. They weren't comfortable with house cleaning. So we've been rebuilding our staff, but we're not all the way back to where we were. Probably the most significant thing is something that we had worked on previous to COVID was introducing disinfecting into our cleaning service. And then that's something, as a green cleaning company, that through the last 10 years, we felt that was a difficult thing to achieve, but technology has given us probably the most advanced thing that we've seen, and it's completely non-toxic, is what we're calling electrolyzed water. We're able to get that system into our office about a month ago, and it's amazing that we're using no cleaning products. We're using water, and the one product that the machine creates is for cleaning. It cleans all the surfaces. You got to use it to believe that you're just using water. The key there is you're not leaving a residual film on the surface, which is just an area for the, not just a COVID virus, but all the other bacteria and germs that we have in our house. It's easier to dwell on that surface. And then we come along after that, and we're disinfecting with the spray. So that's probably the going forward, being able to offer that to people is something that we really weren't doing before to the extent we are now. So that's pretty interesting that we're able to do that. Our customers have hung with us. It's been difficult. You feel like you're holding your breath that you know, one of these times somebody's gonna say, okay, I'm not feeling well, and test positive. So I think until there's a vaccine, I think that's still going to be the course that we've got to go through. So and we keep doing the best to keep everything clean, disinfecting our equipment, our office, working with our employees to maintain this kind of safety at home, because most likely they may be more laxed in their home settings than they are with their coworkers. So that's the things that there's just, I think there's life-changing things that we're going through that we're going to stick with for quite some time. So that's where we are. We're grateful that we've been moved along to this point, that we've got customers that have hung with us, and we think once we get further along that people are going to come back or excuse me, have some new customers that they're going to want to have the service that we're providing.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds great. Rick, I see that you unmuted yourself. I wanted to hop back to you as well. How have your business practices changed since COVID, and what safety measures have kind of become your new standard?
No, thank you and good morning. When it initially hit, we shut down the office, had everybody working remotely. Since then, we've opened up, but we kind of, with the resurgence going on, we just locked the front door, trying to slow down the walk-in traffic. Our work is mostly outside with roofs. I mean, we have to talk to the customer about what's going on with the roof. We do those meetings out in the front yard now, keep our social distance. Everybody's wearing a mask. We've gone through all our people and make sure that when they show up that they're following all the protocol for this virus. Our measurements are done via satellite, so that helps us a little bit. We still climb on the roofs and look at everything, but our actual contact with our customers has been either by the phone or standing out in the yard, like I said earlier, social distancing and staying away. We had a little bit of a reduction in our business here in the last couple of weeks. I think people just kind of sitting on their money a little bit. For a while, we were running pretty strong. Last couple of weeks, we've had more commercial work to look at than the residential end of it. But we adapt to that as well. We're just making sure that all our people are safe. Nobody that's worked for me has come down with the virus. Everybody's real careful. We have a wide open line of communication with everybody that everybody knows if you're not feeling good, just don't come in. So we're not doing too bad with it. So be glad when it's over.
Right.
But that's about where we are right now.
Perfect. Yeah, it sounds like, for those of, you and both Jeff, who operate more outside of the home or have the option to do both, can still continue going at a certain pace of business and had maybe less impact on those sorts of things.
Sure.
Lynn, jumping over to you, Lynn, same question. So how have your business practices changed, and what safety measures have kind of become your new standard?
That's a great question. Since I kind of looking at, I used to have a clients meeting at the chamber's office for everyone's safety. Obviously, we transitioned lots of appointment online. The challenge is for some senior clients, they have a difficulty operating a computer program or using the cell phone, but we have a transition into voice verification and getting all the information they need. I do go to home visits as well. We highly geared with masks and measurement, mainly for the protection of the client.
Yeah, so it sounds like kind of with this question, kind of across the board with our industries, but I'm sure industries, many different industries, it sounds like we've all had to adapt to a significant number of changes. Here at Gym Guys, very similar things, monitoring our staff and our clients who we're coming in contact with in terms of their current health status, wearing those masks, keeping that distance. For us at Gym Guys, we're not always outdoor workout people. Actually, a lot of people in the heat and humidity were like, oh no, we'll do it inside. But we've seen more individuals just choosing now to work out in the yard and sweat it out a little bit more outside. So some of those changes have been somewhat client driven and understanding the comfort level of them, which may be true for all of our businesses, but some of them choices on our end as the business owners and operators as well. So we're going to kind of go through next round of questions. So where I want to kind of learn from each of you where you have found some of the advice along the way, and have there been opportunities for you to not just get advice from others, but share kind of some of what's worked in your industry and what hasn't with other individuals as well. So we'll kind of start this question off with you, Matt. Where have you gotten some of your advice for how to operate along the way? And have you shared information or been a resource to other businesses as well?
Well, Maid Brigade is a national company. We're the franchise here in St. Louis, locally owned and operated. But the family of franchise owners has really helped us through the paycheck protection plan, helping with getting that secured. We were able to get a loan on the first money that was available, getting the disaster relief loan from the SBA, and then just safety practices, a lot of Zoom calls like we're on now with other owners that sharing our experiences. So giving me what's going on in our industry and other communities. So that's resources, places to find the equipment. We're starting to see some of the things we need, like masks and gloves, come back onto the shelves. But at the beginning, it was very difficult to find that. Hand sanitizer and having different resources to hunt through the internet trying to find those. That was very helpful. And just having any questions. It's been more difficult on a sales side because we really have downsized because of employees not being there, not being back to where we were before. So really it's been crazy as somebody is being entrepreneurialistic has to sit there and sort of wade passively through this. I mean, I recall sitting there in March, we closed down for 4 weeks, extremely difficult. We got a lot of walks in, but it is difficult, and I feel like we've gone a long way, but there's still that question mark, and so I think what we've done is really tried to maintain what we've had and try to stay safe, and that's where we look for advice, and of course we did get the loans, and when we got them, we knew it was going to be crazy working with the government, and we still don't know where we stand on those loans. So that's still up in the air, but we are getting as much information as we can about that side of the business. But really, it's just surviving. We're in one of those industries that has a good future with people wanting cleaning, but we just got to make it through.
Yeah, Matt, very similar to you. Us at Gym Guys, we're also a franchise. So learning from other locations, hearing stories about what's going on in other parts of the country and how you operate has been really insightful. I don't know if this was true for you, but we were able to kind of get up and running before a significant number of our other franchise locations, at least back in person. So we were kind of the ones out there saying, here's what's going on, here's what we're seeing, here's what clients are looking for, and how we kind of adapted and grown. But I think you're right that we're hearing more and more of struggling to get supplies for businesses when they're being kind of pushed to the hospital level. For our other panelists, I think you all are maybe not from the franchise world. So I'd love to kind of learn from you guys where you have found those resources for how to make those adaptations to operating and things like that. Rick, how did you guys make the decision with how you were going to change operating procedures, and where did you get some of those resources to decide on those changes?
A lot of the stuff on the web, I looked at the CDC, what all they're talking about. I listened to Dr. Fossey, listen to Sam Page, and I go through the guidelines from that point. The biggest hint was where to get toilet paper for a while, but we got that covered. So
good.
But we we've been pretty lucky with what we've got going on. Everybody's adapted. You know, those that needed their shutdown, shut it down. We've mostly our resources have been a lot of just online, looking online and listening to the news. Listening to news, paying attention to what's out there.
Perfect. Lynn, what about you? How did you decide, or what were some of those thoughts that went through your head as you were deciding to make those changes, and where were you kind of pulling resources from?
We have a couple of resources. So first of all, lots of insurance carriers has been very helpful. They have extensive online information. We can provide those education information to the clients, like they actually offer the continuous service on telemedicine services for members of a certain insurance carrier. The other resources were independent brokers in 50 states of the US. We have a group of brokers in the community exchanging business ideas and have case presentations to see how we can best help our clients in that manner. Yeah, I also sending out regularly members email information to keep them up to date on what the insurance policy is going to offer them protection, and how their COVID test is going to be covered, and what kind of resources available. There also members can contact their primary physicians. CMS and HSS has made exemption rule on the current medical providers billing code. Medical providers can offer telemedicine services to all the members as well to keep them safe. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Looks like we lost Jeff there for a minute. I'd like to kind of hear from all of you. Is there anything as a business that you guys feel like you need more information or resources from, you know, the chamber, state, local levels, or even federal government to kind of ensure that we're kind of up and running to the safest standards, or getting the resources that we need to operate in that sense? I guess, Lynn, we'll just hop back in right to you. Are there any other resources that you're kind of looking for on that level?
That's a great information, because I felt like lots of misnomer information being going around social media, Facebook. One day we say vaccine is good, the next day we say the face mask is not necessary. So if from the public health perspective, we have a unified message to the public, how can people better protect themselves as well as their health, we will come together to overcome this problem. Just this morning I was reading, we are kind of in a competition to who become the first to invent the vaccine. Russian is actually based on the reading I have, the vaccine was not invented in Russia, while the several companies had that vaccine available. So US actually purchased the certain vaccine. So from our public health perspective, what the unified message is going to be to keep us informed, that will be really helpful.
Perfect. Jeff, what about you? Any other resources or support that you would be looking for from kind of the chamber, state, local levels to help things moving forward?
I got help from the National Pest Management Association of, you know, what the guidelines and stuff like that should be. And a lot of it's common sense, you know, cover up and all that stuff. But, you know, we had a hard time, you know, finding gloves, finding masks, you know, finding everything at the beginning. And, you know, a lot of things you ordered on Amazon, and it says it'd be delivered in July, you know, and so we had to really stir up and to find what we had, because a lot of suppliers, if you hadn't already bought that thing from them, they wouldn't sell it to you. And so that was a little difficult at the beginning to find the mask and all that stuff. and I talked to Gary Routler and just, you know, what are you guys doing? And you know, so talk to local people, and we just sort of went on it as, you know, we're here to serve people and protect our people as well as protect our customers as we go, because, you know, somebody has a bed bug, you're going to be inside their house, you know, and so we had to do a lot of services inside. And even during the worst part of it at the beginning. But none of our people got sick in the process. And like I say, we were you know, our secretaries and stuff would ask all the questions of, is there anybody sick at home? Is there, you know, all that kind of stuff. And we covered it pretty well, and made it through it. And, you know, like I say, we've added, the other aspect is it's made a lot of great employees available. And I've hired some of the best employees I've ever hired right off the bat. 3 in a row were stars and that want to make a career in pest control. And so that has been really encouraging, just because we got some great people. And so it's just been, I'm excited for the future, you know, COVID or not. It's just, it looks like we're on a path to grow and do a lot of stuff that we couldn't do for a while, you know. And we bought 4 new trucks. We've, you know, getting ready to letter everything and do all that. And it's just, it's like I say, as much as you hate to say it, it's been a blessing. And we're going forward with that dynamic and with our people, and you know, we just had a company picnic on Saturday, and just celebrating, hey, we're here and we're going forward and we're having a great time, you know. And because solving problems for people is a very fulfilling thing, you know. I mean, when people are afraid of brown recluse and need to get rid of those recluse out of their house, you give peace back to their home. And so when we do that and fix things like that, it's extraordinary. And my technicians feel that satisfaction of, I solved the problem here, you know. And so it's just it's really good.
That's great. And, Jeff, it's really exciting to hear kind of your excitement for everything that's going on, and even adapting to the changes of seeing growth and employment opportunities for new hires, and even hearing you talk about, you know, talking to a potential competitor, but how businesses have kind of been able to lean on each other and learn from each other through these times is a refreshing change from maybe a world we lived in before.
You know,
yeah, one of the things that we come back to too is, you know, your conversation of the loss of, or the struggle of finding supplies and stuff like that. I know for us, we were looking for what the best cleaning supplies would be, and we're a fairly small team, but rather than going all over the place, I found a resource from the Chamber Women's Group of someone who had put something out about just where she was getting cleaning supplies, and not a mass level, but you could go buy a couple cases of things from someone, and having that connection through the chamber has been kind of a great support and resource for us. Matt, have you been able to kind of, any needs or things that you're looking through more from a chamber, state, local level for your business moving forward?
Well, the first thing I think of on a state level would be fantastic if the governor put a mandatory mask for the entire state. Obviously, we're traveling throughout the state. Lake of the Ozarks is a big place where people are congregating. I think the mask is probably the best thing we can do to protect one another and show that you care about the other person by wearing a mask. And you know, as COVID is filtering out into more rural areas, I think the whole state really needs to be aware of this and start wearing masks. It's showing a good effect where it's being mandatory, where it wasn't. So I think that's what I look at the most. Really, it's for us. It's like I've said before. It's not as rosy as Jeff's deal, but we're making it, and I think that's that. Just the support of being able to talk to other people and know that people are concerned about this, and we're going to get through it, but we're still in the middle of it. And I think that's probably the key. And I think the chamber provides a forum for being able to talk to other people and share ideas, and with all the other industries, just seeing what people are doing. I know that some industries are really doing well, and then there's others that obviously, as you drive around, see didn't make it already. So it's a have and have not situation, and I think just using all the resources you have to try to keep it going. And I think that's where we are.
Rick, what about you? Any other resources or support you'd be looking for kind of from the chamber or on a state or local level for you guys kind of next steps moving forward?
I think the chamber's done a really good job of posting all the different websites and government information for we get loans. I actually used one of the links and got one of the loans for my building. Easy process, but if they could keep up doing that, anything, it seems like they're up to date on everything. If they can keep doing that, I'm real good with that. But we've actually used those sources and appreciate the fact that they posted them out there for us.
Perfect. Well, this next one and I'd love to kind of hear everyone's opinion on this. This next one kind of came in as a question from a participant and kind of segues into the next question of silver linings or glass half full of our businesses kind of moving forward. The question came in from one of our participants to love to hear, a success story or things that this has maybe given you the opportunity for. Jeff, I know you've shared a number of great things that have gone on, not just from business growth, but employment and finding good employees. Anything else you wanted to add of something that was really optimistic that's kind of come out of all of this? Oh, you're on mute, Jeff.
Okay.
There you go.
One of the biggest things I think has been, on the back of my car, it says hope wins. And having a positive attitude in the midst of what could just be awful. But I tell you, every day I went into the office and I encouraged my people the best I could. Gave them the stuff they needed to and shopped everywhere I could shop, and even set up a sewing area in my office where I was making masks for them, and I've never sewed in my life, and so, I'm looking online for the best type of mask and making patterns and doing stuff and giving them blues mask and cardinal mask and, all kinds of different stuff. And sometimes even finding the material was hard to find,
There you go, guys. Anyone looking for supplies? Jeff's your guy.
But the thing with it is, I don't know if our world is ever going to be back to what it was. And we're prepared that we're going to wear a mask for the rest of our life. We may never go back into a stadium again, which just blows my mind. But, I'm sorrowful for the college athletes and all the different people that make a living in sports and people that own the buildings and having no revenue come in is just, that part's devastating. And because there are so many people in the midst of this that are hurting. But, one of the things, my wife and I probably would take out at least a couple times a week just to support some of the local businesses and the restaurants and stuff like that. Because, one of our favorite restaurants went out of business, and it's just like, it's just a shame, and so I think the more we can do to support people, within the chamber, within your local area where you live, the better off we are. And just know that, this is a time to love people, and just do whatever you can. We've had a lot of weird stuff in the midst of this, and protests and all kinds of things that you just go shake your head. But in the process, life is going on, and there is hope, and so I think to just don't limit yourself. My daughter was a professor at Stevens College, and she didn't get her contract renewed, and so I talked to her the other day. I said, babe, the one thing that I can tell you is you can literally do anything you want in the fashion industry. She designs it, she's done it all, and so she was teaching that at Stevens. And now I said, now is your time to shine. Now's your time to lift your head up and go forward and do something that you've never done before. And I think it's a time to look at where we can find those niches, where, Matt was talking about, extra cleaning stuff and with the water and all that, finding new innovations and doing things different that says, I'm different than Joe Blow cleaning service. And I think, our philosophy is we're here to solve problems. You only have to make one call and we'll solve all the pest problems you have, as long as it has 4 legs or 6 or 8. So if we can do that for them and give them peace of mind at home, then, you can conquer the world. And,
Perfect.
and
Yeah, I
so
think
it's
that's a great kind of leading with just not just what the silver lining is for our business, but how we can help support others, and really just that positive attitude will change everyone's trajectory moving forward. Rick, I'm going to hop over to you. Any silver linings, or has this given you any opportunities to do things, better and different in your business, or even just a success story of something that's happened during this time?
I think it's just matter of keep moving forward. You have to be a little sympathetic and empathetic with some of the people that you encounter.
Right.
Get out there and just get out there and just keep pushing. Just keep going at it, and don't stop. Don't give up. There's a lot of people that are hurting right now. We understand that, and it's unfortunate, but just keep moving forward. Just keep pushing. We're not going to give up. There's unfortunately, there's some of these companies will go under and have already, and we just strive not to be one of those companies. So, and it looks like we won't be. It looks like we come out here as good as we going into it. I wouldn't say that we'll come out any better. We'll come out there as good. So, and I have to get off here. I'm at my destination.
Perfect.
So,
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Rick.
thank you, everybody. Good
Thank
morning.
you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Lynn, what about you? What have been any changes that you've made, or any silver linings or big success stories that have happened?
Yes, thank you, Katie. In fact, since the less of travel, I actually saved a significant of time driving. For like half hour or hour, we can schedule 2 clients meetings and conversations. The other good news, I do have a position posted in the chamber. Myself has agencies, I need assistance since the workload coming up, at least a part-time employee. Also, if Tim might be back up on my data, most of the advisors and brokers are reaching the age gap of over 55. So by 10 years time, all those advisors is going to be replaced. We need a great deal of people to be helping everyone, because this morning I just read 68 millions of people have been impacted by the COVID. Their retirement plan has to be modified. We also have 40 million people made unemployed or furloughed, in the sense our Medicare income taxes would be further impacted in the senior when they reach 65, how their Medicare benefit is going to be impacted. So we also have like mastermind group. We are constantly in communication with the insurance carrier to give them the feedback what our clients are expecting in terms of the programming. Lots of them are taking into communications of social determinants, including how to have home care exercise program, food security program, as well as they offer certain like over-the-counter benefit. They are making a great investment on supporting the community, supporting the health, instead of people ended up at the emergency places.
Yeah, and Matt, kind of bringing it back to you. I know you were saying how business hasn't quite picked up to where it was. We do have a little shout out from Terry, giving you a huge thanks for coming to Boys Hope, Girls Hope and offering them some generous support during this difficult time, which even if business hasn't picked up, that's a big boost to the generosity that you still have to kind of put out there in the community and help support others. But any changes in your business that have been kind of a silver lining or opportunities or success stories that you see kind of moving forward?
Yeah, well, first of all, I wanted to thank Terry for that shout out. They're in a situation there where they've obviously got a lot of touch points, and then with this new technology, we were able to say, hey, we've got something that can help you out. And I've offered that to other industries, first responders. We've got this product that simply it's crazy. It just keeps producing in the office. So that's part of our silver lining is that I think we've really honed our craft, and we've gone from type of cleaning, which we are calling green cleaning, that appealed to a lot of people in our customer base that was looking for no heavy or harsh chemicals, to not using anything at all. And that's what it's come into my industry is things that have been discovered in more sterile environments that you can use these products. So I think that's big as we move through this and we talk to existing customers of what we're doing, that keeps them on board. I mean, that's a real focus of ours is just keeping everyone. We've probably, in my industry, there's a natural attrition of people that come and go, and we've really felt through this. A lot of people have hung with us, and they waited till they're comfortable for us to come back. But as we move through this, I think a lot more people are going to see what we're providing is a good alternative to other cleaning companies. So that's a real silver lining, a real glass half full for us, is that we're doing a better job. And also, we've always had an atmosphere in our office where we want people not just to feel like it's a job, but where they belong. So for the people that come to work for us every day, knowing that they've got a place to work, that we're hanging in there, we're making it through, and they've got homes to clean, they get a paycheck at the end of every week. I think those are big things, and just trying to find people who want to join our group. And most of the people that come in find just what a good atmosphere it is, and sometimes that's part of it. It's the onboarding is tough in my industry. It's not easy work. Just try cleaning 4 or 5 houses a day, and you'll see just Katie, that's quite a workout. So, but once they get to it, they realize that it's a good group of people, and we have been blessed through the 7 years we've been in business with this group of people. But I think the key is we really found that how we can do it better. That's the key, and that going forward, I think that's going to help us as we get through this the virus.
Matt, I can say as a client of Maid Brigade that when you all called and you were back up and servicing, that the call to ask if we were ready to have someone come back to our house was nothing about how it impacted your business. It was truly, are you ready for us to come back out? And I think that says a lot, as all of us have seen, a downtick, and maybe we're back up to where we were before, but that messaging coming from your staff of, we're here to we're here to do what you're ready for, and no pressure, even if as a business owner, your staff on the back end is like, oh my gosh, I hope they come back. I hope they come back. I hope they come back. That messaging wasn't portrayed to us as a client. And I think that speaks volumes to you and how kind of your staff operates. And we've been so thankful to have you guys back, because just because we're home doesn't mean we want to do any more cleaning now.
Right.
Now than ever before. And for us here at Gym Guys, I think we've seen a lot of what you all have seen. We made that choice to shut down to kind of ensure the safety of our staff and our clients, and have tried to reiterate that same message when they're ready for us to come back. For us, there has been a big silver lining in all of this, that unfortunate for the gyms, they have a really bad rap for being dirty, germy places even before this. So the amount of people looking to, do something at home, staying healthy and active through the virus has been a significant jump for our business. But the slowdown also kind of gave us a chance to kind of regroup and figure out how to go back into clients' homes with kind of the utmost concern for health and safety for those clients that we're servicing, and then being available and being around when there are those changes. Knock on wood, our staff has stayed safe, but I think we're going to see more and more people that we're all coming in contact with that have come in contact or potentially been exposed. And so having just those little dips of how we adapt and make sure we just keep those open lines of communication and keeping our staff and our clients safe. But it was great to talk to you guys this morning and kind of learn so much more about what's going on with kind of these home-based businesses and seeing all these changes and all this good stuff happening, and hearing at the end here some of this positivity of the good things that are happening and the excitement for kind of where we can go and how we can all kind of hold our footings in our industry moving forward. Joan, unless there's anything else, I guess I'll pass it back to you to kind of wrap things up.
Hey, Katie, nice job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Special thanks again to Katie McKenzie, owner of Gym Guys, #1 in home personal training. Also want to thank our terrific panelists, our sponsoring panelists actually, Rick Hinkson from Eureka Contracting and Roofing, Jeff Holper from Holper's Pest and Animal Solutions, Matt Kinsella from Maid Brigade of St. Louis, and Lynn Lewis, Invo BH, licensed medical Medicare insurance. Thanks all of you for participating in the Kirkwood DePere Area Chamber's Biz to Biz Adapting to Change webinar event. To learn more about each of our sponsors throughout this series, to learn more about the Chamber, about our upcoming events, businesses from within the area, to learn more about the broader community and all it has to offer, please, or wait a minute, forgot, or a chance to re-listen to this conversation today and any of the previous ones, any that you might have missed, or information that you thought, you know what, I'd like to hear that again. You have that chance when you visit our new website at kirkwooddepere.com. You also, on that new website, will find some information about an upcoming event, the Chamber Member Appreciation Barbecue. Everyone's welcome, no cost. It's an annual thank you to our members, and especially this year, it's kind of a neat way to connect, to appreciate, and to be appreciated. It's going to be held on Friday, September 25th at Kirkwood Park, and you can find further details when you visit us at kirkwooddepere.com. On behalf of the Kirkwood DePere Chamber, thanks to each of you for your commitment to our business community.